Hello everyone, friends. Thank you for checking out Bitcoin Adept. Today, we will talk about the price of Bitcoin and a very interesting tool called the US Dollar Index, by analyzing the chart of which we can predict where Bitcoin might go. Also, I will be giving away $3,000 to those who join me. So look, there is such a tool, DXY. This is the US Dollar Index. Let's remove all of this. Weekly chart, let's even switch to a bi-weekly one because it has quite an extensive history. And it looks wonderful like this. For the last several years, from 2008 to 2025, it has been in an upward trend. Moreover, this trend, you can notice, is quite clearly traceable. Let's outline it more clearly. Specifically, there are also some stages of decline here, meaning a bear market and ascent, and we need the correlation specifically with Bitcoin. Yes. As you can see, the US dollar index reaches its support zone at some point, after which it moves to resistance, and from resistance to support. It frequently moves like this even now. It is quite likely that we are here, and at some point we might come back down to support again, because we have already been at the top here. And you can see for yourself what movements occur down below. Then it goes up, then down again, up, down, up, and this could continue for some time. In any case, this has been happening since 2008, and it is quite likely that in 2025, here, this segment is where the final movement occurs. The concluding movement towards the maximum values for Bitcoin. Since all these cycles before were 4-year cycles, even if you use my signal indicator Bitcoin Adept cycle, it shows 4 years passing. That is, Bitcoin goes down, then comes back up, another 4 years pass by, and Bitcoin again exactly repeats the same story over 4 years. And here we are interested in when these final moments of the bull market specifically for Bitcoin occurred. Let's start, from which moment? Well, here at the very beginning, all these movements were not quite clear for Bitcoin. Starting from 2009 to 2011, they were quite erratic. And then the cycles began to emerge in their regularity. And we are interested in these, the final moments, you could say, when we were already approaching the maximum values for Bitcoin. That is, which years these were. Let's take a look. Here it was the year 2013. That is the entire year of 2013. This is the part when we were already reaching the maximum values. In 2014, we went down. So remember that, right? The year 2013. Let's write it down. The year 2013, this is the year for us. The entire year of 2017. At the beginning of 2018, we started going down. The year 2017 interests us. We will switch to the US dollar index chart and see what was happening in those years, what the correlation is, since the US dollar index, as we have already seen, has its own resistance zone and support. And by analyzing it, we can additionally estimate the price of Bitcoin. That is where Bitcoin might go, and we can say this even independently of the Bitcoin chart itself. So, look, I explained the moment a bit awkwardly. This part here represents the entire year of 2020. Let's also note down, the year 2020. Although this whole story consisted of 2 peaks, the main prominent candles, yes, are still from 2020. And the final movement happening now is in the year 2025. Perhaps I drew it a bit early. Maybe the movement will continue. Something like this. That's not the point. We'll mark the year 2025. We need to know in relation to the US dollar index where Bitcoin might go. In short, the years 2013, 2017. 2020, let's look at the US dollar index. We switch and observe what we had in 2013, 2017, and 2020. So the year 2013 here's the part when Bitcoin was moving sideways for a while, after which there was a decline. Let's mark this decline, dash with an ellipse. In short, here it is all. This is the year 2013. And this year was the main movement, meaning by the end of the unloading, the main bullish part of Bitcoin. So we found the year 2013. Let's see where 2017 is. The year 2017 is this part right here. Also, Bitcoin was in a kind of sideways movement at the maximum values according to the US dollar index. And here is the entire year 2017, this whole part. Let's also draw this nicely with an ellipse. Here it is. This is the prolonged part of the end of the bull market. Since 2018, we have already started going down with Bitcoin. So you understand, right? The US dollar index goes down, and during this time, Bitcoin goes significantly up to its maximum values. Also in 2013, so in 2017. Let's see where the year 2020 was. And 2020 is right here again, this entire part after the finding. In this kind of sideways movement, so we had a sideways movement, which was both a bear market then and the beginning of a bull market. But the main growth, let's also note, at the end of the last Bitcoin cycle, here is 2020, and we fell again, as it was before, to the zone, right here at the support, after which we moved to the resistance. Again, there's this kind of sideways movement present here before 2025, similar to what was here and possibly here as it was before. And now, guys, 2025 has just begun for us. This whole part, January 2025, right here at the top, according to this chart. And gradually you can see the movement started going down on the US dollar index. And it's quite likely that if this movement continues as it was here, when the US dollar index goes down, especially down here to the support zone point, then it's quite likely that upon reaching its lowest point, we will find the peak values for Bitcoin. This is regarding some connection, Mubashit, and with the US dollar index, a certain pattern, you could say, a positive one. If this movement continues downward, and if this pattern continues to repeat as it has for 17 years, then Bitcoin could also rise to its next peak zone. I'll show you which one a bit later. Now let's switch to the weekly chart and see what signals my signal indicators are giving. First in a global sense, then we'll look at it more locally. So, well, on the weekly chart, it's clear that everything is fine. There is no sell signal yet. Here is the weekly chart, the Golden Grail indicator. You see, it generally shows such established signals. You see, some people underestimate these signal indicators, saying it's all nonsense. But when we were at the bottom, there was this buy signal that I showed you right here. Even in the bear market, people were still waving it off. But in reality, agree, the signal was quite good. So far, we don't have a sell signal. As it used to be in previous cycles at peak values, you see the same thing. Yes, a buy signal on the weekly chart. This was in the previous cycle for selling at peak values, in the cycle before last and so on back. That is, in the past, a buy signal for selling at peak values and benchmarks. Regarding this peak value for Bitcoin, let's connect another signal indicator on the weekly chart. As I already mentioned, the range of here of 60 to 180,000 per Bitcoin. And this, guys, is purely my benchmark. These are purely my thoughts, which I am expressing to you. That is, obviously, if someone knew exactly where Bitcoin was going, they could become a billionaire in a single day. They could use, for example, a large sum with 100-fold leverage and close it either in short or in long, the amount that they earned, an increased amount, then used it again with 100-fold leverage either in short or in long. And that's it. The person is a billionaire. But guys, no one knows where Bitcoin will go. These are just my thoughts, my assumptions. And as for the weekly Golden Grail chart, let's take a look at the local signals. It gives us, recently there was already a sell signal, but we don't particularly focus on it. So far there hasn't been any signal, at least the buy signal hasn't lit up yet. That's regarding the Golden Grail. And now let's look at the Bitcoin Adept buy and sell on the local chart. Everything is still the same. This signal for selling, for buying, it still hasn't lit up. And here you can see that our triangle, which we drew in the previous video, has broken downwards. And if we consolidate in this lower part below the triangle, then these are not very positive signs locally. However, speaking of more global movements, I am still expecting an upward breakout at some point. Here we have a 3-day chart for Bitcoin, adept buy and sell, indicator, buy signal. We had it on February 27th, and so far we haven't had a sell signal. It's quite likely that we won't go lower. I strongly recommend installing all my signal indicators. There are about 8 of them, and simultaneously join our trading chats. This, guys, is absolutely free, and at the same time you can participate in a 3,000 giveaway. I don't do this often, and how this can be done, go down to the video description, find the line that says go to the Adept for the $3,000 giveaway and get free access to all these goodies. What does it mean to go to the Adept? You most likely already have an account on the Bybit exchange, and here you can become my referral, having an already existing account. It won't cost you a penny. You won't lose anything, but you'll get all these benefits plus participate in the giveaway. Click on the official Bybit link, go to the partner community participation page, fill in my referral code 31329, write the reason I want to go to the Adept, and click send. On this page, you must be logged into your Bybit exchange account in advance. And that's it, you become my referral. And with the help of this bot, you gain access to all of this. And in the Telegram channel, there will be a giveaway of these $3,000 over the weekend. So, that's regarding Bitcoin, the US dollar index, and my targets for Bitcoin's movement. And now a little about altcoins, which many of you have acquired. Because you want to earn faster and much more than with Bitcoin. That's the point of all our altcoins. But you also know that I am a Bitcoin advocate, not an altcoin advocate, because I believe that all altcoins are a fraudulent scheme, just a way to extract money from you. Consequently, a person with a small deposit wants to earn a lot, especially a beginner, so they invest not in Bitcoin, but in altcoins. And look, I would differentiate here the market up with Bitcoin and the market with altcoins. Although altcoins are heavily dependent on Bitcoin, in the current movement of Bitcoin and the one that happened before, I would say there are 2 moments of capitulation from altcoins, while only one is embedded in Bitcoin. Since altcoins are a quicker scheme for both earning and falling, when Bitcoin goes down, altcoins drop even faster. And I would say this kind of situation occurs, Bitcoin goes down, reaching the very bottom. Here comes the disappointment in price. And capitulation occurs from both Bitcoin and altcoins. The initial capitulation comes from altcoins, after which Bitcoin starts to rise. That is, things are more or less okay with Bitcoin. Although during corrections, people can be very scared, just like now. But as time passes, many start accumulating altcoins, again because the greed for profit takes its toll. And since altcoins are a faster asset, people need to be shaken out of them more often so they don't linger too long. And now I assume the next stage of capitulation from altcoins is underway. Although with Bitcoin, as you can see, everything is quite good. That's how it happened. In the past and the cycle before last, when we were going down here with Bitcoin, everyone was already exhausted. This movement with Bitcoin, but after that, the moment of capitulation occurred right here, both in Bitcoin and in altcoins. Then Bitcoin started to go up with tights, followed by a small correction, initially small, then larger. And the capitulation, guys, began to happen right here with the altcoins. And during this whole part, many people exited from altcoins, although the price of Bitcoin at some point dipped quite deeply. Here we had the moment with the coronavirus. So guys, don't think that the Bitcoin market and the altcoin market are the same thing. And that if Bitcoin goes up, it's certainly better for altcoins than when Bitcoin goes down. But before reaching the maximum values, people are shaken out of altcoins more often than they are shaken out of Bitcoin. These are my thoughts today regarding Bitcoin and altcoins. That's all for now. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you want to hear my daily thoughts and more. Also join me on the exchange. Bybit to participate in the $3,000 giveaway and gain free access to our private trading chats, where people, traders, and participants share their trades made on the exchange to all my signal indicators and to a large amount of trading literature. Thank you to everyone who watched this video to the end. Bye all.